Welcome to episode 38 of the Asian Football Show. I'm Kenta, your host for tonight, as we have a very fun interview with the one and only Mo War of Orange County Soccer Club here in the States. It's a USL Championship side, which is Division 2 right under MLS. And I had the absolute pleasure of interviewing him last night. And so, without further ado, here's the interview. Yeah, Mo. I mean, obviously you have a very unique background in terms of
No,
soccer.
thank you for having me.
Something that I guess I share a similar background in the sense that you were born here, but you lived in Japan for a majority of your life. Can you kind of talk me through what uh, early childhood was like for you? Because I know you were born in LA, but when did you end up like moving over to Japan, and how long did you spend kind of your uh, childhood over the in Japan?
Yeah, so I was born in LA, as you know, and I don't remember exactly, but I moved to Japan around when I was 3, and I was like, I was in LA. Sometime I was out of LA, like when I was a little, when I as I grew up. But since when I get into elementary school, I was kind of got busy. So from elementary school to all the way to university, I only had once or twice, one time or two times, to chance to come back to LA to see my dad, because my dad was in LA all the time, and I grew up with my mom. So yeah, and growing up in Japan is so different compared to here, and it's the people are more shy. Here, more people are more friendly, like extra. Yeah, and yeah, and they're more in Japan. It's like discipline, So it's strict.
So you
There's a lot
don't
of strict
do you really
rules, so
remember
that helped
much
me
of
a lot
LA before you started
as I
coming
grow
over
up.
here to
Like,
play,
yeah,
professional football a
to
couple
build up
years
my
ago?
personality. Not really, but I still have some of my dad's side family,
So I'm guessing
so I kind of
your first
remember
kind of
some of them,
experience
but
or
I
memory
didn't
that
have
probably
most of
comes
my
with
memory
soccer,
here.
which is now your profession here. What happened when you were in Japan? Can you kind of walk me through, like, when did you start playing soccer? Do you remember the environment, whether it was like for like an
Yeah,
after school group or whatever that might have been?
yeah, yeah. Like my friend group, most of them were playing soccer. That's why I started playing, and when I was 5 years old. So it was before when I got into elementary school. And since then I got into soccer, and I'm a mix of African black, so my physical was better than like people in Japan when I was a little. So
Did you?
I
So
was faster
I'm
than
I'm
most of
guessing
them. That's
like in
why
elementary
I
school,
was very
because in
enjoying
Japan
playing
it's like
soccer.
one club activity. Because like over here, you didn't like, depending on the season, you can play different sports in the U.S. Like you can play
Yeah,
soccer in the fall, and then you can pivot to like basketball in the winter, and then play something else in the spring. In Japan, that's not really
yeah,
the culture that you would experience going through school. It's kind of stick to one sport and play it year round. Was soccer
yeah,
the sport for you, that I'm guessing, when you were going through elementary or primary school? Gotcha.
yeah. Like some people does that. Like people in America do do couple sports and pick the one they like. But my case or most of the Japanese people case, they already pick the one. Like me, pick soccer, and if I want to play soccer, so for example, if I want to play soccer, you want stamina, right? So people who want stamina try to learn how to swim, and they get stamina so that you can run a lot when you playing soccer. Yeah, but most of the people decide what they
Yeah, it
like
does. Yeah.
more earlier
Kind of growing up in Japan,
than compared
what
to American
was
people.
kind of
Yeah,
the exposure you
does
had
that
with
make sense?
soccer
Yeah,
in
I don't know.
terms? Because
Yeah,
like, did you
yeah,
watch
yeah.
European soccer, whether that's the Prem or La Liga? Did you watch any J League growing up? Was it the national teams? Like, what was kind of the exposure you had growing up to professional soccer? Um,
Yeah, my first experience watch professional soccer was J League, because my club that I started playing soccer, there's a few players became professional player, and they come see us sometimes. That was my biggest motivation when I was a little. So
did you have like a local
yeah,
club team
most of the
in
time
J League?
I watch J League as I grow up. Oh yeah, yeah. When I
Very
was a little,
successful club
yeah,
at the
I was
senior
in
level,
the local J
Yokohama.
League club. The name
Despite
the
the
name
poor
is
season they're having
Yokohama F
this year.
Marinos.
Um, and so you
Yeah,
go through
yeah,
soccer,
yeah,
at
yeah,
Japan, which is a very different environment than over here in the States,
yeah,
especially like in high
yeah.
school.
But yeah,
Um, at what point did you kind of consider playing collegiate soccer in Japan?
yeah,
And what was kind of that process like for you from going from high school soccer to playing um, at Komasawa?
yeah, yeah. College soccer in Japan is getting bigger, like growing every year, and the I would say like Mitoma, the famous player, Japanese player, was in college soccer, and he went to overseas, and he actually playing good in foreign country, and that makes Japanese college soccer like more famous, more popular. And there's actually a lot of players from college, Japanese college, to move to pro, not only in Japan, like go
Do
to
you have like
overseas. So
a
yeah,
lesson or
I would
like
say
even just a
Japanese
skill
college
set
is
that you
big,
think you
huge.
developed best
Yeah.
during your time? Like, what did you take away the most from your time playing collegiate soccer in Japan?
Yeah, especially my university, the Komazawa University, the soccer club is like our coach was, I don't know how to say, so old. They have like history. They have a lot of history. So it was like kind of old Japanese style. We run a lot. Like they teach us like how to be disciplined, how to respect people. Those basic things. So I learned that a lot. So like there's a one, I don't know how to say in English if that makes sense, but if you see the white color, but coach said if it's black, we gotta say it's black. Like if coach say anything what to do, we gotta we gotta execute. Those kind of like old Japanese style. But I hated it when I was in college. But you know, if you want to survive, you gotta listen what coach said. And yeah, when I reflect right now, I would say yeah, it was a good thing for me. I learned that a lot, and now
I
I know
was going through
how
your Instagram
important
before
it is to
this interview
execute
here,
what coach said.
and
So
it looks
yeah,
like during your college days you were, I don't know if this is still the case, really into fashion. I think I'm just gonna put it that
yeah.
way. Can you kind of like modeling just like clothing, just kind of the whole like right, and it just kind of
What does
screams
that
kind
mean?
of like that
Fashion?
streetwear, like Japanese, specifically like Tokyo
Oh yeah,
streetwear.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Can you
yeah,
kind of walk me
yeah.
through what that was like during college, and
Yeah,
like, is that something you've carried over
yeah,
now over to the States in terms of how you?
yeah, yeah. So in Japan, like thrift stores was huge. It's still huge. I think it's still big in Japan, and it was growing when I was in college, and I got into it. And I met a one guy who works at the thrift store, and he was like my, I don't know how to say it, like senpai, good, bit good friend to teach me how to dress and everything. And because of him, I got, like, he hooked me up for the modeling. He hooked me up for the magazine director and everything, and
It's
he
it's
gave
like,
me
I
into
think soccer and fashion a lot of times is
get
very
me into
synonymous. You
like
see it
fashion.
at like the
Yeah,
national
yeah.
team
So
level.
yeah,
I know a lot of players when they go into like their national team camp. I think like France is like the big country, right? Like you see all
yeah,
these players dressed up, and it's interesting to kind of follow how players get their fashion sense, and like you have a very unique and
yeah,
like uh very good look, to be particularly honest, right? But it's just curious to see how it came about. And you made your professional debut in Japan, um,
yeah. Thank
in
you.
the Tenohai, the Sakka Tenohai Cup, the Emperor's Cup. Can you walk me through that professional debut?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I didn't play a lot of minutes on my debut, but it was definitely special. I grew up watching J League, and I always wanted to play. That was my dream. So yeah, it was special moment, and I had a special feeling for that. But that was the only game I played when I was in Japan. So yeah, I had a lot of
You said it was the only
emotion.
game you played,
But
but kind of walk me
yeah,
through,
yeah,
if you
but yeah,
can, right?
something like that.
Walk me
Yeah,
through kind of the culture of soccer in Japan. As a professional, even just training day in and day out, and if you
yeah,
can even compare it to what you've experienced so far here in the States, and what's kind of the difference culturally speaking between playing as a professional in Japan versus playing as a professional over here in the States,
yeah,
as a soccer player.
yeah. It's not about the professional, but the if you play soccer in Japan, they prioritize not only on the pitch. They prioritize off the pitch too. Prioritize, that's a word to say. Yeah. So if you don't if you don't have like good attitude off the pitch, they think you as a bad player, even if you play good. But here they here they care about off the pitch too, but it's kind of more like I can be more relaxed about off the pitch because over there is more strict. Like, you don't know what coach see you. Maybe you act something bad off the pitch, and they think you're bad person, bad player. If that makes sense, yeah. But here, you're more close to coaches, and like, you can be not friend, but you can be friendly to your coach. That's what I feel. Yeah. So, but you can't talk like that if I was in Japan. So
What
it's
incentivized you
complete.
to come
It's
over to the
definitely
States to
different.
play
Like
soccer?
how you
Like, was there
communicate
a
with
one
coaching. Yeah.
overarching like big reason behind it, or were there kind of multiple factors that goes into a decision to come back to where you were born to play professionally over here?
Yeah, that's a big thing. I born in LA, and my dad was here, and I wanted to try something new. And yeah, I wanted to try like completely from zero.
How
And
was
yeah,
that
I
adjustment
don't
for
know no
you?
one
I mean,
here
obviously,
in
new
soccer
language. I don't know
environment,
how
so
good
yeah,
your
I wanted
English
to
was
try
coming
like
out of
new
Japan,
thing.
but also just a completely different culture. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's a very kind of
Yeah,
shock to the system if you're
yeah,
not used to it. Can you kind of talk me through how that transition was? Obviously, you played last year in LA, tried out for Orange County, and
yeah,
then you made the team this year. Um, just what that adjustment period was like for you coming over
yeah,
here to the States.
yeah. Yeah, first thing I struggled was definitely language. I had a no English skill when I got here, and first thing I did was went to the OCSC's open tryout, and after I they invited me for the preseason, and but I couldn't communicate well with coaches, players, and I was struggling. You know, if you want to play well, you gotta communicate with players. You know, so it was kind of hard. And after I had a chance to join LA Force, and early of the season, I was still struggling to communicate with players. But you know, here like I feel there's a more diverse here, so in that aspect, I could relax more, and no one knows me here, so I don't even have to care about I don't know like people's opinion that much. You know, I can just focus on myself, my play, my improvement of like skills, language. You know,
I know you
so
this
I
year
kind of
have
liked
another
it.
teammate that's
I
born in
could focus
Japan.
on
Kind
my
of did the reverse of you.
growth.
Born in
Yeah.
Japan, played collegiate soccer over here, and now you both end up on Orange County. Can you kind of talk me through that relationship you have with Tetsuya and what that's been like? Not
Yeah.
being the only, I'm assuming he can speak Japanese, but kind of not the only one that at least can kind of empathize and share some life experience with what you've experienced.
Yeah, it's so interesting because he was born in Japan and he grew up in LA whole in whole his entire life, and mine is opposite. And yeah, we are good friends. We talk about a lot like difference of the culture in Japan and America, and yeah, it's fun to talk about it. And when I like there's something I don't know about America, I always ask him, and
What has this
he can teach
season
me
been like
English.
for
He can
you
teach me
playing in USL
culture. So
Championship?
yeah,
It's
it's so
from
interesting
because I've been
to talk
covering
to him.
this
Yeah,
USL Championship for a couple years now, and it's a very competitive league. Um, I think it's very underrated and underappreciated in the English or
yeah,
American soccer pyramid because of just how much media attention MLS gets and by extension Next Pro, and I don't I think USL Championship kind of gets forgotten at
yeah,
times. But can you talk me through what your expectations were of the league coming into the
yeah.
season and what it's been like playing against the level of competition you have with Orange County this season?
Yeah. So when I was in Japan, I was playing for the second division, and now I play in second division in America. And it's definitely uh, the competitiveness is so high, and I love that. But less people watch this league compared to second division in Japan, and but actually, American soccer market is growing, and World Cup is coming. So my expectation is like American market is definitely growing, and level is gonna get higher and
You
higher
play
every
for Orange
year.
County, who
So
I think
yeah,
has one of the better
I'm
fan
excited
bases
for
um,
this
in the league, in
and
my
this
opinion, right?
American
And
soccer
so
market.
their home support's always been something to watch. And with J2,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
some of the big teams there have massive supporters.
yeah,
Um, I want to ask, kind of from a cultural standpoint or actually even just a
yeah,
kind of competitive standpoint,
yeah,
if you can kind of compare what, like the main difference between J2 and USL Championship, if you had to sum it down to one league's more tactical and one league is more physical, whatever that might be, like kind of the big thing you've noticed between those two leagues, having trained in those environments and competed?
Yeah. Orange County's compared to other team in USA Championship, it's more tactical, I think. But most of the team in USA Championship is like more physical, I would say. They have like 3 bucks or 5 bucks, and their soccer side is more direct. But in Japan, the direct style is less than here. Most of the team is more tactical and like skillful, and Japanese people are like technical, so that suits them more. But here there's a lot of and the biggest difference is like there's a lot of international player in the USL, but in Japan there's only five, I think.
Yeah, I guess
There's
it's
only five
five.
international spot,
I don't know if that
so
rule applies all the way down to
it's
June 3, but I think it's
one of
like
the
five
biggest difference
international
too, I
players can
think.
make a match day roster at a time, so it kind of decentivizes teams from having too many of them at once, right? Which is,
Yeah,
I guess it allows for, Japanese-born players
yeah,
to have a
yeah,
pathway to develop as a player, which is inherently a good thing.
yeah,
I have to ask, you're in LA right now. In the world of soccer, LAFC, MLS
yeah,
wise, is a big buzz city. But I'll kind of just broaden it, right? Not just with Son Heung-min joining LAFC, but you live in a city where like there's so many Asian athletes performing well. Whether it's like even just Rui Hachimura with the Lakers, or you look with in baseball, you have arguably the best player in baseball right now, and Otani Yamamoto is a great pitcher. Even Yusei Kikuchi on the
yeah,
other LA team. Can you talk me through what that's been like to be in a city that has so much Eastern Asian kind
yeah.
of athletic buzz going around that city? Obviously, with the inclusion of Son Heung-min very recently.
Yeah, those Asian athletes definitely like makes me proud and keeps me going. Yeah, I'm not like them right now,
Have you
but
found
definitely
that
I want
there's
to
like
be
a
like them
Japanese
and one of
turnout
them, and
at Orange County
yeah,
matches at all?
that motivates me a lot.
Because I know
Yeah,
there's a big, like, fans coming to matches. Because I know there's a big population of Japanese, just sports
a
fans in
Japanese.
general in LA. What has that been like, having
Oh
Japanese
yeah,
fans come support you guys?
yeah, yeah. It's definitely big for me. Japan is my place I grew up, and people from Japan or people who speak Japanese make me
All right,
feel
I have one
home.
more question for
So
you.
yeah, it's definitely big for
It's kind of
me.
about the match day
Japanese
process.
people come to watch our game. Yeah,
Has your like pregame ritual and how you go about match day changed
yeah,
from when you were in Japan to now when you're over here in LA? Whether that's like, I go on a run now compared to when I didn't, or it's like I eat a different cuisine because U.S. food is so different from Japanese food. Has any of that process changed for you now that you're in a completely different
yeah,
continent?
yeah, yeah. I would say I love eating Japanese rice, so I still eat Japanese rice every day, even before the game day. But for the breakfast, there's one place close by my apartment. There's a acai bowl place. I never ate acai bowl in Japan, but since I got here, I ate acai bowl
So
every
what's
day
your
before the
favorite food?
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
so
I've seen many
it
like
has definitely
smoothie bowls
changed.
in
Yeah,
general.
acai bowl
Have
is
you? It's
my
like you either
favorite
get
food
it in
right
the
now.
cup or you don't get it at all in Japan. So maybe that's something you need
Yeah,
to bring over to Tokyo at some point. Start an acai bowl shop.
yeah,
That would I'm sure be a
no,
massive hit. Alrighty, well Mo, thank you so
yeah,
much. For those
yeah,
watching
that
on
was,
YouTube, go
yeah,
ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you're on
yeah.
any other platform, please give us a like and a follow here.
Thank you.
Uh, And yeah, we'll see you on the next episode.